Hello and welcome to our presentation about making the major sale. This video is about the 8-step process that helps companies to cope creatively with large and complex selling tasks. Over the years, salesmanship has been changing. First, sales of part of companies and different kinds of corporate financing have become more prevalent. The sale of a subsidiary or a company or a licensing agreement has become more important. Second, businesses have become larger and more complex and the average size of sales has grown. With the growth of the businesses, the complexity of the purchase and the risk involved have increased, as well as the cost and the intricacy of selling and serving the account. Because the major sale affects many functional departments of the buyer, decision-making has become more involved and the buying criteria more sophisticated.
Major sales need a special handling because their potential profit is larger and their effect is more long-lasting on buyer and seller. The 8-step process develops the sale from the initial decision through the appropriate strategy to the eventual close of the sales. Let's start with the 8th step. Step 1. Opening the selling process. The salesperson has to do a lot of research to be prepared for a sale in order to have an idea of the appropriate person to contact. Next, the sale needs to open, which is often done over a phone call. The goal is to gain enough information to determine the most appropriate person or people to meet. The best opening is made through a third party, which enables the seller to gain recognition and credibility. It also avoids making a cold call and obtains information without announcing the seller's intention.
Step 2. Qualifying the prospect. Next step is to identify whether the sale can eventually be made or to separate the suspect from the prospect. Unfortunately, companies spend more time selling to prospects who have no intention of buying. What matters is the quality of the call. Does the prospective buyer really has a need for my product? Do the top managers recognize that need? If they don't, is it likely that I can educate them? Can I justify my product as a response to that need? Can I identify influential buyers and others who may affect the decision to buy? These questions boil down to two equally important issues. 1. Can my company be of service to their company? 2. Can I bring the two companies together? Step 3. Developing the sales strategy. Once he thinks the sale is possible, the salesperson needs a plan to enable him to direct his own efforts and to use his company's resources to make the sale and develop the account relationship. The so-called strategic sales opportunity profile is a simple technique to help him to design his entire strategy and organize his sales effort. The strategy should be based on the detailed information he has gathered during and after his analysis of the buyer. For example, people contacted, information obtained, own activities, follow-up action, results of the contact. It should also ensure that all of the influential buyers receive attention. If the profile gets completed carefully, updated regularly, and pursued every selling activity to its conclusion, the salesman will be more likely to close the sale. One problem of making major sales is that most salespeople can talk to a purchasing agent, but they fear calling a president or an executive vice president. They feel more comfortable to sell at a lower level.
Step 4. Organizing the justification. When the salesperson has determined whom to contact, it is time to assist the company in justifying the purchase. Each top executive has to understand exactly how the purchase will affect his operation, budget, cash flow, and personal concerns. In effect, the salesperson should know as much as or even more than some of the prospect's top people. The salesperson is more likely to succeed if he understands the few really important variables that will eventually affect the final. Since most cost justifications will be based on certain key assumptions, it is important to get a consensus on each assumption from the decision. The object is to focus on what the prospects think is feasible and to use his numbers, not those the selling company believes are possible. By combining the best points made by each manager, the salesperson stands a better chance of having his reasoning accepted by the purchaser. If he gathers data correctly, the salesperson will discover that this is the best time to sell. Step 5. Making the presentation. The presentation should not contain new information. It should rarely be a summary of the agreements made in the previous calls. The presentation flows from action to analysis to implementation. Some other aspects which should be considered by presenting a major sale is the location, the timing, and the attendees. You should provide a variety of speakers to make the presentation interesting but not confusing.
Step 6. Coordinating resources and personnel. During the selling process, the salesperson is also responsible for managing the resources of his company. This may include financial operations, non-sales marketing, general management, and personnel resources. This person has to know the company structure and due to that, what effect the commitment will have on the company's ability to operate profitably. Nowadays, many big buyers want individual goods. Special delivery patterns, payment patterns, and other concessions are sometimes more important than the price itself. According to that, an important aspect of the 6th step is to analyze if a customized production, modification, or promotion is profitable or not. Step 7. Closing the sale. This is the first concrete evidence that the salesperson is successful. The selling process can last half a year up to 3 years since the start of the sales process. A salesperson should require an agreement after each call to ensure there are no disagreements by closing the sale. Step 8. Nurturing the account relationship. Some top marketers feel that the real selling starts after the order is signed for a major sale. One way to control the account after the sale is to develop a long-term plan for the products, services, and resources with the customer, like an individual strategic sales opportunity profile made together with the client. The most important thing that a salesperson can do is to keep the selling contract on the correctness of their buying decision so that the buyer blues don't set in. Post-sales service not only reinforces the customer's confidence on the seller but also tends to keep competition out. If you consider these 8 steps as a salesperson, you will be able making the major sale. If they don't, is it likely that I
Danke. Falsch. Der sollte eigentlich nicht mit. Machen wir es noch über zu langsam. Ja.